and welcome to ET Insights. In the last 2 decades, the business process management industry has expanded exponentially and has taken on extremely complex roles. In fact, today, India is the largest BPM base in the world. And now with the adoption of Gen AI, it is finally going to see another inflection point in the industry. Fueling this growth are companies like French major Teleperformance. And today we have with us Anish Mukker, CEO of Teleperformance India, to talk about what the future holds for the industry. Hello Anish.
Hi, how are you doing? Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining us today. Anish, what would you say has the BPM industry witnessed in the last 5 years and how has it grown?
See, BPM industry, in my view, has seen monumental change over the last 5 years. It has actually been at the forefront of the change that our clients across many industries have seen. And as an industry veteran over the last 2+ decades, I'm actually very proud to say that we have helped our clients transform so that they can meet their customer experience needs much better, much more efficiently, and we have been bringing the technology that they have used eventually. So we've benefited a lot from that technology. Now, last 5 years, you've seen proliferation of that, whether it is automation of simpler tasks, and now coming into more transformative LLMs or Gen AI models, and that is changing a lot of how companies like us and others view how the customer experience will get completely redesigned. And I believe that we have seen tip of the iceberg there, and there are a few use cases that have already come in that have changed, whether you look at financial services or travel and hospitality or even, let's say, retail customer experience use cases. I see that to be accelerating over the next 2 years. And to put it all in a perspective, customer design or customer experience design itself will become a focus area rather than just a simple interaction management. So reliability of customer transformative experience you want to drive using data, using existing tools that our clients have, using Gen AI models to create new ways of servicing it, is completely going to transform in the next 2 years or so. And we have already seen some examples of it for the last 1 year. So I see that the change is only going to accelerate, but at the same time, very confident that if there is any industry that can do it for all our customer or client industries, it's companies like us who are investing a lot of that time and money in this endeavor.
Talking about customer design, Anish, what we have seen in the recent past is that customers, they no longer want off-the-shelf solutions. They're looking for something more customized. So how has customer experiences moved and evolved to digital customer experiences and now digital business services for companies both big and small?
See, first of all, we have to realize that all classical boundaries that we have traditionally enacted, whether an experience is online or an offline or a digital or digital enabled, they're all getting diffused. Now what our clients want, or the customers of our clients want, is a seamless experience whenever they get in touch with the companies that they're buying the products from. And they expect the companies that they're buying it from to know the history, to know their preferences, and to create a customized experience and that experience gets built upon more and more as they come in contact with the companies that they buy the services from. Secondly, loyalty is very fragile right now because our clients are facing hyper competition in our world economy. So the ability for our clients to create a higher brand loyalty through customer experience has never been more important. And therefore, the roles that companies like ours play is how do we bring in digital, non-digital, using both, empathy or, emotional intelligence on top of artificial intelligence to create that loyalty enabling experience So when the customer gets in touch, whether it may be the largest retail company or the largest phone manufacturer in the world, their loyalty takes 1 or 2 basis points improvement. So that's what we've seen. All traditional ways, as I previously said, of how you segment, whether it's digital or a non-digital experience, in my view, is getting diffused and will continue to get more and more diffused.
Talking about, you mentioned empathy and emotional intelligence. Do you think AI and chatbots will replace humans in BPM industry?
See, first of all, there is a lot of hype and anxiousness around this on how the new technology, which is every day you hear about, is going to change the servicing industry. There is that hype that needs to be put in perspective that automation, whether it is in manufacturing or servicing, has always been part of how companies have grown, how industries have grown. And servicing industry is also facing it now. Previously, look back about 5 years, it was automation of simpler tasks through user interfaces or robotic automation technologies that had come up. And that accelerated some transactional work to get automated. But the industry has only grown. Over every year after year, the industry has grown. And even with the advancement of chatbots or Gen AI tools and technologies, I believe that to continue to grow as well, while it continue to automate more transactional stuff. With AI enabling more customized solutions to customer problems, just by itself, technology will not be adequate. So our customer specialists, interaction specialists need to bring in their human element of interaction management, experience management on top of AI. So they will continue to work in tandem with each other. To answer your question, whether it will automate, of course it will automate. It is supposed to automate. That's why we are investing in it, and therefore it has to become ROI positive for us and for all our clients. Having said that, it will enable even faster growth as more and more complex problems have their easier part automated, and our reliability to solve those more complex problems, whether it could be an airline customer, it could be a retail customer, it could be a luxury car customer, we can take more and more of those. So I believe that industry by itself will not see a decline in the foreseeable future, while at the same time we will continue to automate more and more simpler transactional work.
Anish, at a time when so many processes are getting automated, the focus is also on keeping focus still on your people in the company. So how is Teleperformance keeping its focus on people first?
See, as one of my bosses previously used to say, for companies like us, our biggest asset walks out of the door in the evening and comes back hopefully next morning back into it. So our intellectual asset, the biggest asset that we have, is very transitory. So therefore, if we are, the onus is on companies like us to create an experience where people continue to grow, they continue to learn, and at the same time we are fulfilling our social responsibilities. And I put an impetus on that because the new generation is more aware than perhaps our generation was when we were at that age. So for them, our social responsibility, our focus on diversity, equity and inclusion, our focus on equal opportunity employer, our affirmative action to take jobs to people, given that India is such a diverse country and most of the places that we are in, rather than continue to bring people into the jobs, which is like major cities, if you are able to do that, then people really appreciate that. So that is something that we've been doing consciously for many years, and that remains my top priority in the current and the next year as well. Second is reskilling, retooling of the talent as they climb the ladders of the organization and they do more complex jobs, bigger scale jobs, they move across industries. So we need to reduce the friction that our individual leaders or employees face as they move across different domains, as they move across different levels of hierarchy and responsibility. So we have to invest a lot in enabling those employees to learn new things, and therefore our reliance on digitized self-learning modules which create positive experience for people to learn through gamification or otherwise is a huge area of investment and attraction for us. And wherever we are able to do it successfully, and I won't say that we do it nicely all the time, but wherever we are able to do it successfully, we see attrition coming down dramatically. We see employee satisfaction growing up dramatically. And because of the investments that not just in India but globally in 100 countries that we are in, we have seen that Teleperformance is now consistently great place to work for many years, and it is also the top employer brand. In fact, this year we were rated 5 out of top 25 companies in the world, and that's a hallmark, and it has not happened by accident. It is day after day, month after month execution that we do towards this priority. So coming back to your point, people focus is the only focus that you have if you were to say that you have one focus. Obviously customer obsession follows, client obsession follows immediately after. So therefore that's the biggest imperative for us as a company.
Talking about Teleperformance's presence in India, I think you have the largest base here compared to any other country. 90,000 plus employees. You're planning to add 10,000 more. If you can take us to the growth and expansion for the organization in the country.
We've been in the press quite a bit on our expansion. So you're right, India is one of the fastest and the largest regions of Teleperformance globally. And we are also seeing now 10,000 is a conservative number. We should breach that number in the next 12 months confidently. But my endeavor is to actually go to 150,000 people over the next few years. Now, in order for us to get there, there is obviously a monumental change that is happening across industries, across various economies that we sell into. So Western world is moving into, let's say, onshore work is becoming nearshore work, nearshore is getting into offshore work is getting into far offshore work, because the value and the stability and the reliance on credible day after day high level performance is now available. So therefore that work is continuing to shift away while continuing to increase the experience of the customers that our clients service. So India is playing a pivotal role there. Now, so coming back to the point, 10,000, potentially 60,000 over the next few years is our dream goal that we are executing to, and that won't suffice if we continue to grow in the tier 1 cities. So we have got high focus on growing into tier 2 and tier 3 cities. In the next 8 to 9 months, we will open 3 new cities that we have already invested in the real estate, and those offices are getting established. We will go also very meaningfully at a large scale on work from home models, and I stress upon that because we already have about 27,000 people who are working from home, and they have access to all the facilities virtually that we provide through digital means, and they also experience us as a company like an employee would experience sitting in the office. So our endeavor is to create virtual workspaces, smaller setups where we can bring tier 3 talent and give them opportunities that they are not used to, or they can only get when they come to tier 2 cities. So it's a massive area for us as a focus area, and also potentially partnering with a lot of governments. So name any large state, each of that state head or their government is approaching us proactively to offer opportunities for us to open up offices in their states, offering us incredible amount of subsidies and infrastructure. And we are relying a lot because it's increasing our competitive advantage. It is making those states also very attractive for the local talent and local population as we bring jobs to those cities. So it's I've given you a longish answer, but there are many pieces that need to come together to enable growth, not just the demand side, which obviously is important, that largest companies want to work with us, they want to work with us in India, but a lot of work needs to happen on the supply side too.
There's a lot of business process in management. It's a highly competitive field. So while you would want to beat the competitor, I'm sure there's a lot of learning also that comes from competition. What has been your biggest so far?
See, there is nobody is fortunate enough to live in a world where there is no competition. Our clients would hate it if they didn't have competition, but there is a positive side of competition too, because you are challenged to create something new for your clients. You have to be at the forefront of transformation, and in order for you to transform what you're offering to the client, you also need to transform yourself as a company internally as well. So it keeps us on the edge, and the great part is that you are not caught unawares. If you have a healthy competition, our industry in India and outside over the last 4 decades has evolved into an ecosystem where there are there are organizations who offer boutique services, very specialist services, and then there are large scale companies like us who are also providing high contextual services. So in a way, competition has defined us as a company, and given that we are one of the largest firms of our kind in the world, we are also driving how the competition needs to mature up as well. And if 5 of our companies come together through NESCOM or otherwise, we can influence policy making in a positive way, so that India becomes more attractive place for larger companies to come and invest. And we create job opportunities, we create talent opportunities, we create growth opportunities, and eventually, the way that I look at it, we also, coming back to the point I was making on social responsibility, if you're able to create a job in tier 3, each job actually creates 2 more jobs behind it, because then there is a supply chain that needs to get established. So and if competition does that along with us, so you are multiplying the impact that you're making across many frontiers: growth of the country, the export revenue that we bring in, the talent opportunities that we create. So it's massive, and who could do it alone? I think competition has to come together and do it.
You've spoken about growth opportunities and the many possibilities that the industry holds. What would you say are the 3 top challenges that in the near future that you have to grapple with?
If I can just twist the question to opportunities, because they go hand in hand. One, the biggest opportunity for us, and previously you asked, is how do we bring Gen AI, large language models, and not small language models, which are more specific problem solving solutions that tech companies are bringing. How can we bring that in a meaningful way to our clients, so that they are able to solve their customer needs more adequately? That's where our focus area is, that's where the investment is going. You can say it's an opportunity, it's a challenge, the way you look at it, but it's a massive one. Second one I would say is the governance, risk and compliance world goes up and down in terms of the risk perception of a country, risk perception of a region. Many global events shape it. How do we continue to perform amidst all that chaos, amidst all that confusion that can create perception whether offshoring or outsourcing is the right thing to do, if India is the right choice, or if other regions for us are the right choice? For you to be able to sustain with an ecosystem that focuses on governance, risk and compliance management, so that our clients don't have to worry. So we have to invest a lot in those governance processes. Thirdly, most importantly, people. How do you continue to keep them meaningfully challenged and meaningfully inspired, so they can find the long-term careers and not just work here for a couple of years or so? Specifically in context of India is growing hugely. Right? We are going to be soon the 3rd largest economy, and our people will have choices. And if we are able to just live in the yesteryears of how we used to be, people come here and then they do what they do, but you do not add value to them in the long run, they would not work with us. They would find greater opportunities to work in other sectors. So how do we consistently innovate ourselves so that people find long-term career development opportunities with companies like us. So people would be a third opportunity stroke challenge.
Anish, my last question to you would be how important do you think brand communication is to generate more business?
See, TP, by the way, gives a little bit of comfort because it is in our industry, it is one of the most, visible and reliable brand that we have created and nurtured over the last 45 years. Very few brands in our industry are that old, and that comes from the vision that our founder has had when he started the company, and which his leadership team has built on over the last many years. Now, when, without naming the clients, when the largest search engine company needs a large opportunity to be addressed, and they may need not in hundreds but in thousands of people, there are very few companies that they can make a phone call to say, can you do that for us? Largest retail company, largest manufacturing company, largest airlines, when they come and see the demand, largest hospitality companies, tech firms, the startup firms, because we can bring opportunities of creating an ecosystem where even a small firm which is dabbling in fintech or insurtech or food supply, when they need something, we are able to create something very, very in a very agile fashion so that they can service new products, new customer experience with a rapidity that they can't do it themselves. So all of that has come together to build a brand that Teleperformance currently stands for. Secondly, the reliability. What we do passionately every day, we do it consistently. And our prize is that we create zero surprises in our operations and zero opportunities of leakages, whether frauds, and that's important for us as a country as well, but as a company as well, that there are no bad experiences for our customers and our clients. So we create hugely positive, predictable experience on an ongoing basis. So that's what we stand for, and what it helps us do it helps us create command a premium of price that we can charge to our customers, and they are willing to pay for it because they get something much more than they might get with somebody who doesn't believe in these three things. So that's of monumental importance for us. For employee attraction as well, the best talent likes to work with the brands that they can associate themselves with, and it values what they value as individuals. And whether it is in India, and whether it is in Colombia, whether it is in Philippines, whether it is US or Europe that we are in, if you are able to create that consistently and offer that to the people who may want to consider working with us, it allows us to attract them and keep them with us far longer. So on both sides, it's hugely important.
So clearly, be it processes or people, you're in a win-win situation.
Yes, hopefully.
Yes. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.